like Alec had mentioned, we've got that common POSIX compliant layer at QNX that sits underneath everything. A whole set of open standards that sit on top of that, whether it be OpenGL, OpenAL, different types of capabilities that are going across there. And that common standard support is what's made game porting very, very easy for our partners. It's been our two main feedback points that we've been getting from our different game developers out there. One has really been, this has been a really simple port to bring this across onto your operating system because you support the open standards that we're looking for. And the second is this hardware and this device rocks for games. It's absolutely performant, and we haven't seen this type of performance on different mobile devices before. So very, very much looking at it as a really performant, fantastic gaming device. Sitting on top of that open standards layer is some of the different open source frameworks and capabilities that we support here, whether it be Boost or other different sorts of things. We've got forks of these different open source projects up into our GitHub area where we're making sure that they're tailored and customized and working great on our operating system. So we ship some of them on the actual device themselves, but then keep the updated repos live as well. So if there's updates or fixes from the community, you can package them in as static libraries into your application and off you go as well. So there's a lot of different things that you can do at that open source layer. And again, we're very much people with existing code bases using some of these different open standards and open source systems. Please, bring your applications. We've got a great home for you here. So that layer really is kind of the foundation where we see things like gaming engines like Unity and Marmalade and these things coming in, and then we've got applications built on top of that. So when you move out of the gaming space, you really move over into that next layer up where we provide other types of BlackBerry services and integration. And here everything's pretty much built on a Qt core, which was part of that question earlier, how many Qt developers do we have in the crowd? And we've integrated and brought Qt over onto the playbook as well. Again, that whole port is up in GitHub if you want to be able to use that today and make it work on there. But this is kind of the basis and foundation of where our BlackBerry specific APIs, the ones that we've traditionally seen on our Java phones, coming in and being integrated into that Qt framework and following the same kind of patterns of signals and slots and the same development paradigms that you see for doing Qt development today. And where we're going with BlackBerry 10 is really that icing on the cake of bringing it all together and bringing a fantastic UI framework in Cascades. Cascades is a scene graph-based UI. We'll talk a little bit about it more, but it's part of something that came across with the Astonishing Tribe acquisition that we made a while ago. I don't know if anybody's been by the booth and checked out the crazy confetti demonstrations that are going on there, where 5 playbooks are all working together with fantastical, crazy things happening. Now, these are all UI concepts and things coming in from the group at TAT, and it's really driving that Cascades framework and what the look and feel of BlackBerry 10 is going to be. So with that, perfect segue around Cascades. So here is really what we see as our core BlackBerry look and feel. This is where a lot of our core applications are being written, the key interactions that you're going to find on BlackBerry 10. And what we're doing in Cascades is really building all of that interaction model straight into that app framework that you're building on. So this way that you're not worrying about, well, what am I easing curves for being able to do bounce effects or these different sorts of things to make it look like the real OS. All this type of stuff is built directly into this Cascades framework so that it, again, allows you to concentrate on building your app versus the mechanics of what you're trying to do from a UI aspect. So it's got a lot of pre-packaged interactions, controls, and making it really have that same look and feel of the BlackBerry 10 operating system. But we also want to try to extend it, make sure that it's a full application stack for you. So if you're building an application from scratch, full data binding down into SQLite or other different services that are provided by the platform or the cloud services that we have available on there, and really providing that whole app stack, being able to manipulate the UI either in full C++ or use QML from a declarative standpoint to be able to do that within that app stack. And this all comes down into a full GPU accelerated environment. So everything down here is running right down on the metal to be able to make sure that it's giving that great experience that you're seeing on there. Full combination of being able to bring 2D and 3D elements all together in the same layouts, and all these things being handled by that framework so that you don't have to worry about doing that type of plumbing. And while there's a lot of these standard interaction models and capabilities built into the platform, we're not saying that's the only thing that you can do. You can do full customization at this level to be able to do what you need to do in your user interface to differentiate and innovate in your application to be able to get a step ahead of your competitors. So one of the different things in this architecture as well is making sure that your app and the UI of your application is safe from others doing weird things that they typically do around application development. And we're making sure that all of the rendering of your application is entirely offloaded and running in a managed system, so that someone's UI interaction isn't blocked by code processing in the background inside that stuff, or another developer's app that is misbehaving is not affecting the UI of your application as you're going through there and manage through that UI stack. So this is something, our engineers have always explained this as what we're doing is we're taking away the ability to override paint. Because when you do that, you put in business logic in there and it slows everything down. So change your model goes back across, the whole underlying system reflects that and takes care of it all. So all scene graph based for being able to do that, being able to create really fluid, interactive, moving UIs versus screen by screen based type of environment here. And we've been working with this in a closed beta with a bunch of different partners since the beginning of this year. And along with this fantastical thing that's on the device, we've been doing a lot of investment in the tooling here as well. And this is where we've been adding the full what you see is what you get editors, drag and drop your controls around, property setting, doing these sorts of things, quick previews to see what the scene graph is going to look like on your desktop before trying it onto the device, all built into the Eclipse environment and our Momentix IDE that we've been using for native development.